Well, good evening, and welcome to our Franklin County High School Winter Choir Concert. My name is Ray Hurley. I'm the proud conductor of these wonderful singers that you have heard and are going to hear this evening. Contrary to my voice, I'm so glad I'm not singing tonight, but it has been a busy couple of weeks for our singers, and so I could not be more proud of the work that they've been making and the progress they've been making this semester. I want to do a couple of housekeeping notes and some thank yous up front. First and foremost, Buck Run Baptist Church allowed us to come in this morning and rehearse. They had a sound engineer here to help us. They have been absolutely wonderful to work with, and when your program continues to be the size that it is, which is a wonderful blessing for me, it is great to have a space like this where we can house 500 in the audience at a time, and it's really, including the students, but it's just such a nice blessing to have their space. So to the ministers and to the ministry team here and to the parishioners of this church, I just want to say a heartfelt thank you for letting us use your facility. Would you give them a warm round of applause and thanks? Also, speaking of coming and rehearsing, I just want to say a special thank you to our faculty and staff and administration at Franklin County to bring 120 kids to do a morning kind of rough draft of all of the maneuvering on and off stage. It takes the support of the whole village, and so I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to our faculty and staff and administration. I see several staff members in the audience, and that means the most to our students and to me. So again, a huge thank you to them. Our boosters work a lot of hours and frantically with their leader, which is, I guess, me. And I just want to say thank you again for dealing with my franticness. Also, a couple of other folks. We had the State Journal in today that took pictures of our All-Staters, and I'm going to talk about that a little later. And we also had we have Cable 10, I believe, here this evening as well, so there'll be a recording throughout the holiday season of this concert. A couple of program notes. Tonight's concert is just a snapshot of what we do every single day in the classroom. It is not every song we have worked on, and it is definitely just kind of a building block. You'll see growth even from this concert to the spring concert. But I always like to share that, like, oh, well, they're just doing 4 songs, or they're just singing 3 songs, or why are we just, and that's why we work on a lot of other things, but these are the most polished tunes that we wanted to put on the program for you this evening. We opened the concert with a new rendition of the national anthem. I see several veteran singers out there, several alumnus of this program. I've always done the hymnal version of the national anthem. That's what I grew up on. And so for 15 years teaching, that's what I taught. And I decided this year I wanted to change. And so that is a meta arrangement of the national anthem. We hope we get to sing that a little more out in the community. We worked really hard on that. It's a lot harder of an arrangement, a jazz blues chords in there. So we opened the program with that, and then we went to the Renaissance with the call to the feast, right? The Renaissance madrigal feast with the Boar's Head carol about literally a feast of, boar's head. And so the men were like, that's gross, who would do that? And then some were like, that sounds awesome. And then I just realized they're men and you just roll with it. But we appreciate you doing that. Now we're going to take a turn and go to our second period men's choir. They are going to stand at this time and make their way up here. This is the first year we've offered a beginning men's choir. You're also going to see them mix with the women in just a little bit. And so we hope you enjoy. This is our beginning men's choir.
If it must be, you speak no more with us, nor smile no more with us, nor walk no more with us. Then let us take a patience and a calm. Sunlight explodes, and all the river burns, if it must be.
At this time, our advanced ladies ensemble is making their way up. I want to take a couple of moments and recognize some special people that will be up here on the stage and have just returned their seats, some of them, so I'm going to ask the ones that are in their seats to just come and stand in the front. Our students every fall work really hard on auditions for 2 different all-state events. Our 9th graders work really early. Auditions are usually due mid-September. Submitting online auditions, it's a digital download. They have to sing several components, it's a blind audition. So 9th graders audition for that, and I'm happy to say I have the largest group I've had since I've been teaching here. We had 8 9th graders selected for Franklin County for the KYHCA Junior High All-State. And if you'll hold your applause until the very end, again, if you're on stage, just kind of come to the front, and if you're in the seats, just kind of come to the front as well and let us recognize you. These are our 8 Junior High All-Staters. Anna Grace Dudley, Savannah Good, Braden Hack, Jacob Hogan, Ruth Knoll, make sure I didn't forget anybody, Mackenzie Adcock, Samantha Farr, and Jaden Gilreath. Is that 8? You will come up to the floor and let us maybe get a quick picture of you. Your parents will want that, maybe. Just kind of go stand in front of them. You tell these freshmen that time flies when they get into high school, and I think my seniors will tell you that it doesn't feel like it was 4 years ago, or maybe they will say that they were standing right there, and we have several seniors who made junior high All-State, and they did something very similar to what you're doing, so we're super proud of you. You may go back to your seats. We have 14 senior high All-Staters this year, so that's 10th through 12th grade. That audition process is a little different. They go to a live audition, a live panel of judges, where they go into a room as a quartet. They sing a prepared piece in a quartet. This year it was Banquiero Jubilate Deo. Is that the composer? I can't remember. Kind of block it. We did it. We've done it. It's over. We have 14 students that were selected this year to the senior high KMEA All-State event, which happens in February, and I'd like to recognize those folks at this time. Zion George, Stephen Golson, Reagan Gregory, Cooper Hendricks, Kennedy Lawrence, Catherine Nesselrode, Jake Parrott, Caitlin Rose, Cassie Smith, Cody Sullivan, Trey Taylor, Grayson Thurman, Zania Tutweiler, and Alex Winters. Would you give them a round of applause? I'll brag one step further. So as they go in front of those judges in that quartet room, 90 points of their 100-point score comes from that quartet. So if a judge hears a perfect score, it's a 90 out of 90 points. And then they may hear a few more perfect scores as the night goes on. As a judge, sometimes I'll hear one perfect, and then I won't hear another perfect. So I'll give a perfect 90, and then I may only hear an 88 next, or an 86, or whatever. And so I'm very proud to say that we had 5 students with a perfect 90 from that quartet score. And I want to recognize those as well really quickly. We had 3 tenors. On tenor, we had some perfect scores on tenor. I don't remember the order. I know that we had Grayson Thurman and Alex Winters that had 90s, and then Cody Sullivan was the 90, like the top 90. So wave so we can see you. Yay. We also had a 90 in the bass section, a 90 with they rank them basically. A 90 is the top, and then a 90A and a 90B and a 90, and it's just judges' preference. And so we had a 90 with a letter, I can't remember it, and that was Stephen Golson, who has had a perfect score the last 2 years. He's right down here. Yes. And remember, these students are competing against those big wigs in the Lexington schools. We're up against the performing arts schools and the, mega schools that surround us. And so, again, they're holding their own. I could not be more proud. We also had a perfect score in the alto section. The top 90 alto is Mrs. Ania Tutwiler down here. So you may return to your seats. So Allstate, many of you are sitting here tonight and you remember your Allstate experience. It was transformative. I don't know if you've seen the videos that have been the viral videos of the national anthem in the Hyatt every night. They go out on the balcony, and so we'll be staying at the Hyatt this year and singing the national anthem every night. And so Allstate is expensive, and we are getting ready to start passing some baskets around for an offering, and I've got that actually in the program. I didn't want to wait until the very end because I always forget. And I just kind of put in your program, like, what things cost. I think sometimes we're like, oh, you're going with the choir this morning. Well, that'll cost me about $500 just to bring 3 buses this morning. And it was worth it. It was worth every penny. But it just, money doesn't grow on trees, and we beg for money all the time. If you'd like to sponsor a kid for Allstate, it's about $180 a kid. You don't have to sponsor it all. I'm just giving you some ballpark figures. Obviously, buses for those things cost money, so we just really appreciate anything and everything you can give. In the foyer, we had some leftover Ladybug Blessing products. If you're wanting to Christmas shop a little bit, we make 50% on everything we sell. There's some cute little gift sets. I don't know if we have any left. I think there were just 3 left. And then those are like $28. That's the most expensive item. And then there's the little lotion bars that are $6, and then everything kind of in between. We take coins, we take cash, we take checks, FCHS choirs, we take anything. So I really appreciate that. Last but not least, we've got some special guest musicians joining us this evening, and I would be remiss if I didn't at least acknowledge them. I've gotten to meet Mr. Stephen Smith through the Capital City Chorale, another one of those hats I wear. He's been joining us this evening on percussion. You'll hear him a little bit later. He's tucked away. In the words of Mr. Tapas, his flautist that's a ninja on the flute. This is Julia Rohr. She's one of our high school band students. Julia Rohr. And then, of course, our wonderful accompanist, who is more than an accompanist. She brings 30-plus years experience of teaching just down the road at Anderson County High School, where she retired from their director of choirs for many, many years. My good friend, Miss Sulu Smith at the piano. We're going to conclude this evening's program with 2 more of our after-school chamber groups. This is my advanced women. And then we will go into our chamber choir, and then we will conclude with our choristers.
Oh
Christmas collage choir concert the Saturday prior to that. And we had the honor of seeing this last piece on that program. So we'd like to conclude this evening with Nicholas Meyer's Winter's Night. Thank you.
This program has been brought to you by Cable 10 Community Television as part of the Frankfurt Plant Board.